What up, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the H-Town Rundown. This is your boy AD. Sorry about that.
right on cue, right?
Yeah, right on cue. Hey, this is your boy AD. Coming in with another episode of the H-Town Rundown. I got my co-host in the building, Jules, Mike G, C. Roll, and our special guest, contributor to the Sporting News, Texans insider, Jayson Braddock. What up, fellas? How's everybody doing today?
We're doing all right. We're doing good.
Doing good.
Loving it, man.
Jayson, you doing all right, man?
Yeah, man, I'm doing good. I appreciate you all having me on.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So,
Come on, bro. We already starting. We
already starting this evening, right?
Yeah. We all love JJ Watt. That's not me.
Hey, so let's get into it, man. There's a few news and notes, man. The Texans did have rookie minicamp on Friday and Saturday of last week, and Jayson was in attendance, covering the Texans rookie minicamp. So we're gonna talk to Jayson about that, and then we're going to go into what everybody's gonna want to talk about, man. The schedule release for the Houston Texans. And we're going to break it down. We're going to give our most important games. And, of course, we're going to give our schedule predictions, way too early schedule predictions. But I want Jayson to go ahead and start us off, man. What is your thoughts on what you saw at Texans rookie minicamp?
Yeah, I'll be brief with it. There's not going to be a ton to really take away when we're talking about X's and O's and how a prospect looks. It's mostly just the eye test and different things you pick up like that. So I'll start off with that because there's no pads. You're just getting into the first couple phases of the off-season programs. And so as they continue to work through, like I believe the 20th, the team comes back for off-season OTAs. I believe that's Monday coming up. But yeah, so more than anything, it's kind of the build and just seeing the guys there for the first time in person. And I'd say two things that really struck me as far as build is just how stout British Brooks, the undrafted running back out of North Carolina, is. Special teams guy, won special teams MVP and captain back-to-back years. Had an injury after his 2021 bowl game against the Gamecocks. Had his triumphant return against the Gamecocks to start 2023. Hasn't had a ton of work. I think 154 total touches in college. So I'm interested to see if that's more of just a Frank Ross addition, or if he was someone who could actually factor in and push Dari on the depth chart at running back and special teams as well. Outside of that, I would say the safety, Kalen Bullock. I was just surprised at how just rail thin he was from the ankles all the way up to the waist. So, you get into an NFL program, they're going to have them eating right, doing the right things, and then you're in Houston. So, excuse me, sorry. So gaining weight's shouldn't be that big of a deal, but it's probably the two biggest takeaways I had just from a physical standpoint.
Man, we about to introduce him to Triple J's and all the different this is it. We about to get him some soul food and Mickey's, and we about to go ahead and get him some good food. So
some Frenchies, some Timmy Chans.
Yep, there you go. Hey, look,
Papacito, Papa Landry's.
You don't eat CJ. CJ can talk all the smack he want about Houston food. You ain't eating no good food in LA. I'm sorry.
No, sir.
Hey, Jayson, quick question for you about Bullock. I know he looks thin, but and not so much. But how did he look? Did he look like he was really fluid? Because he was one of our top picks because of the range he has for the biggest need that we thought he on the team was free safety and playing the ball and depth covers. Did he look kind of fluid when he on the practice field?
Oh yeah, absolutely. And you're not really seeing them do a ton, but they're just learning the drills the basic drills that they're going to run day in, day out with the defensive back coaches and everything else. So there's not a ton to take away, but as far as fluidity, absolutely, it's the same thing that you guys mentioned that y'all like with them on tape. I mean, center field range can really take off, full body fluidity, and what's interesting about them. You take him, who's drafted as a safety for the Texans, and you take Kamari Laster, who's drafted as a cornerback. And Laster's got the measurements and timings that's better suited for a safety, where Bullock has the size, the timing, the length, and speed, everything that's better suited for an outside cornerback. You're talking about 6'2". Yeah, he's obviously a little light, like we're discussing, but 32.5-inch arms, 4.48 speed. So it's interesting. And, we talked to D'Amico Ryans here after the rookie mini camp about the versatilities there of those defensive backs. And so it'll be interesting to see how they play out. Ryan said he'll give them each
Really?
a little bit, but we'll be sure not to overload them.
Okay. So what was your biggest take from the press conference from the players and the Miko Ryans just from the mini cap?
As far as the mini camp, Kamari Lester just, I hate to say it, sounds so cliche now, but he just seems like a D'Amico Ryans type of guy. After you hear him talk and everything, just the confidence, the workman mentality, just put me out there. Loved one. He was asked, are you more kind of a nickel or an outside corner or all the versatility? What are you best suited for? And he's like, I'm a football player, putting me out there on the field. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing, but
Right.
let me make plays. But just the way he delivered it, his mentality, and the way he held the audience. He just has a worker mentality that maybe he doesn't turn out to be a home run, maybe doesn't turn out to be max value for where he was selected at 42. But taking away the draft now, that's all just history at this point. And looking at the player, at worst, this guy's going to be a double.
Mm.
Hey, so when I know there was a joke about the a video about him saying he know that his coach was from Bama. Was that a really joke or was something that he was kind of serious? Because it looked like it was funny footage for me.
No, it was 100% genuine. You
Mhm.
watched him in there, and I forgot who asked the question. I think it was uh, forgive me, the guy from USA Today, Cole Thompson. Yeah, I believe
Mhm.
Cole Thompson had the question. He was mentioning just about the different backgrounds with him being from Georgia and his head coach being from Alabama. And the whole room could just read his facial expressions, as you said, you saw on the video. But it was 100% genuine to where just live in the middle of the press conference, instead of answering the question directly, he's like, Coach went to Bama. And I mean, you could tell it was something that really upset him to his core, obviously tongue in cheek. But
Right.
Mhm.
no, that was his personality. I mean, the moment's not too big for him.
So, Juice, you do have to realize that when D'Amico was playing in Alabama, Kamari probably was what, 1, maybe 2 years old.
Yeah, but them eight the SEC them ties are strong. I don't care if he was
At,
drafted or
when I know,
college.
but D'Amico was at Bama before Bama became Bama.
Well, I just want to know the tension. If there was a
True.
real tension between the Georgia and because there's a lot of Bama players on his roster that he
If he
got
was a
business.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off.
Mhm.
If he was a linebacker, he would have known that D'Amico was at Bama. I feel like.
Mhm.
Agreed.
Right.
Yeah, I just I'm not gonna spill my hatred on Noah tonight.
See,
You
you
just
like
did.
Chris. You always gonna go back to.
It's Noah from now here on out. No, but that, I appreciate that, Jason. Is there y'all have any other questions? Before we move on, I don't want to shortchange Jason. Do you have anything else you want to talk about? Matter of fact, we got a
Yeah,
person
I got a
who.
question for him.
Okay, we got
I know you.
before you
Oh,
ask
go
your
ahead.
question, I do want to. We got our boy Larry Doc Payton coming in as well. I'm pretty sure he will want to ask Jason some questions. But go ahead, Chris.
Now, my quick. What's up, Larry? What's going on?
Hey, everybody.
My question for you, Jason. I know you said you had took a little bit of a break off of from doing this. How did it feel getting back in there? How does it feel get back to asking questions and being able to do what you do?
Oh man,
Um,
that's a great question. I appreciate that. Yeah, there was a little bit of rust to knock off and just kind of just get reacclimated to being around everybody and all that. If I'm being completely honest, just with my background, there's a little anxiety to it. But then as soon as you get around it, there's nowhere I feel more comfortable than around a football field. And you're kind of spoiled in this business to kind of just get out there. And even when there's not pads on it, it's not to take away, just to be around the game of football. And it's a game. um, And I don't see it more than that. I see it as a game and a business, and that's kind of the way I look at it. But just being around it, it just ignites the passion.
That's what's up. Well, we're glad to have you back out there, man. It's good to have a sensible voice. Somebody who's not really just a pencil pusher, but actually has some knowledge of the game. So it's good to see you back, brother.
Hey, I definitely appreciate that. And welcome in, Larry. Good to see you.
Hey, Jason and everybody. Jason, why don't you give a shout out to your mentor? I believe it was a gentleman from the St. Louis Rams organization.
Oh, as far as when I first started getting into scouting and evaluations,
Yeah.
yeah, so I took back in 2009 after my fourth child was born. I'm just a high school graduate, just had this passion. I had been studying the game for a couple years from afar, but I said I want to take this next level. So joined Sports Management Worldwide. And with them, I trained under John Wooten and Russ Landy. John Wooten, obviously former scout, moved up the ranks, personnel man, and then Russ Landy, a former NFL scout as well. And so I took that program and graduated the football GM and scouting course with them. And so, yeah, it was great to be able to talk to those guys, ask questions every week while you're going through the course. Larry, I appreciate you bringing it up.
Yeah, that's real. We got a lot of people that come on the Texans fan sphere and talk a lot of football, but none of them really do the in-depth work like guys like Jason and this group. I apologize for being a little late. I'm on the road this week, but I wanted to chime in to this great group. For the last several weeks, I've been really focusing in on the run game. And so I believe that's going to be the key to us getting to my predicted 12-5.
So
Too
speaking
early,
of
too early, too early.
it's too early, Larry, but
Let's play later. Let's play later.
speaking of run,
He
speaking of
said
run
it's too
game.
early. It's too early.
Hey, speaking of run game, we got a question from Yvonne, our homegirl Yvonne. She said, "How did Jawar Jordan look?"
He looked better than JJ Watt did.
Yeah, I like Jordan. Again, not too much to take out. Shot a video of each doing some running back drills, but not really a lot to take out. Standing next to Brandon Brooks, really made him look a lot smaller. I mean, I hate to just go on about it, but that dude is just so stout that I think Frank Ross is going to make him a monster on the special teams. And I think Dari, position as the fourth running back, special player, they're in the backfield. If they decide to keep four, I think British Brooks could push them. That being said, I think Jawar Jordan, my belief is that he'll work his way up to the number 2 back, and Damian Pierce will be the 3rd back. It might not be week 1, but as we get into the regular season, the pads going on, and you can actually start seeing how Jordan plays in this scheme, I think he just gives you a little bit more. He's stout in pass protection. I mean, don't take his size while he's not built like British Brooks. He's not fearful when he's in there taking pass protection. That's the key thing. If you're going to get on the field, especially as a rookie, in front of protecting C.J. Stroud, you've got to protect the franchise. And Jordan, that won't hold him back.
That's a good thing.
Sir.
So we got RG Mike in the comment. He said, ask Jason what he thinks of Pierce's comments that he couldn't figure out the offense all year long last year.
Yeah, I'm struggling with Pierce, and yeah, I mean, you guys understand how it
We
is. It
all
really does. It's
Pierce is struggling with Pierce.
Yeah, I mean, you look out of 49 qualified running backs last year, Damian Pierce is 2.87, ranked 49th. You go to Next Gen Stats with ESPN, and they show the running backs. He was a top 10 running back with time behind the line at, I think it was 3 seconds even. So everything, what you see on film, what he does, it doesn't click. It doesn't add up. And if we even go back to look at his rookie season that he broke out, wasn't that it was a stellar season. I think it was more of his unexpected, and Texans fans, are so thirsty for a legit franchise running back, and I get it.
Jason, I'll tell people all the time, he was a good player on a very bad team, so he looked better than what he really was.
Yeah, he was better than Rex Burkhead.
and that's setting the bar real high.
That says a whole bunch just right there.
Exactly. I mean, it was almost those first couple years that they were just trying to turn over the roster and get them to where they could be competitive, but wasn't going all out because I mean, it was better playing for a pick than playing for a playoff spot because they didn't have the roster, but now they do. Everything's changed. If y'all have anything else on rookie mini camp as we go along, feel free to throw it out there. But I know everybody's excited about the schedule. I'll
Mm,
let y'all tee it up. And if y'all got any questions for me, I'll jump right in.
got
All
you.
right. So we got this turning into a roundtable because everybody's excited, and we expect a few more people to come in and join us. But let's go ahead and go right into the schedule. Let me go ahead and pull it up. And I'm disappointed. I'm gonna have to contact the Houston Texan office because I feel like the way that they present it on the app and the way that they present it online is two different things, and I'm complaining right now. But
And
let's
Mike,
go.
Mike, I'll switch you KC for Baltimore.
No, here we go. We up here playing Go Fish.
Mike,
so
Mike,
let,
I got a KC for your Ravens.
shout out to Killer Cal in the comments. Let me drop it down this way that everybody's face can be seen. Um let's go right into it, man. Let's talk about the preseason game. You got the Chicago Bears, the Hall of Fame game. 1st of August. We're not giving no predictions on that. We just gonna go through those, and then we talking about Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, week 1 of preseason
You talking about practice?
practice. Yeah, practice. Then you got week 2, the New York Giants at NRG, one of the two NRG games,
Mm-hmm.
preseason games, and then you have the Rams on the 24th of August, week 3. So yeah, I mean, it's some good matchups. You kind of get
Yeah,
to test yourself.
I think week 2 and week 3 are better known as the Davis Mill Classics.
Well, I kind of like the fact that we have 4 games. I know the starters
Mhm.
don't play much, but it gives the time for the rookies and the players who fight in positions and the coaches to get their schemes right, their timing right, their tackling right. It gives them more chances to prove and what to go and sharpen everything they need to sharpen before the season start. I actually like the fact that we have 4 preseason games.
Mhm. Yeah, that extra preseason game gets can evaluate the bottom of the roster, which
Correct.
is what we've been trying to push and see because that's what we drafted. We drafted to level up the bottom of the roster. So moving on to the first game of the season, which is my pick as the most important game of the season.
You did get that right. I
I
give you hand
I
claps. You got
predict
that right.
I got two. I got two. I was two
Hmm.
two out of 17, and I got most of the primetime games right. So we're
Hmm.
gonna talk about that. But week 1, man, I feel like it's the most important game of the season against the Indianapolis Colts, back in Indy, where we beat their ass to get into the playoffs. And CJ Stroud, had a hell of a performance that game. Yeah, I think it's a tone setter game. It's a division game, and it's going to get us prepared to, start the season. It's going to determine which way our season goes, man. If we can go out there and handle business in Indy, I think it puts us on the right trajectory of heading to New Orleans. Anybody else got a comment?
I
Hey, let's
mean,
go back to that Arian Foster breakout game to start off his great career. What was that, 2010 season when
Mm-hmm.
we put that whooping on the Colts? So hey, let's let's have Joe Mixon go off for 135 on the ground.
Mm.
well, for me, it's the whole talk of that the Texans didn't beat Anthony Richardson when he's playing, and since that's going to be a rival for CJ and the Texans for a long time, because we both have second year quarterbacks going forward, the fact that we can get a good a win, a convincing win against our rivals, and the Colts always can have a number or make it a tough game. That's important to set the tone going forward. That we can put that narrative to the bed that we haven't played Andrew Richardson on his best when he only really made a couple plays with his arm, mostly with his leg. So I did like the fact that we playing him first to get that out the way.
Mike, you on
Oh, my
mute.
bad. I like the idea. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay. Yeah, I like the idea of getting started with the win in the division.
Mm-hmm.
I think when you start off with a win in the division, that sets you up to kind of lead the pack within your division. I know a lot of people say, I remember old Bill O'Brien used to always say, "You win the division first," and that is true.
That's true.
You know, we never liked Bill O'Brien. We couldn't stand him being here. It's a very true statement. You win your division, you make the playoffs. So that is a key. When you're winning that division, you put yourself in the driver's seat. You're not chasing people. So
Right.
there's not an anxious feeling of, oh, we gotta have this win. Oh, what do we do if we lose this game? You automatically put yourself in the driver's seat starting from week one. And it just begins to build and it builds into that week two. And then when it starts building that momentum and the confidence in yourself and in your teammates, the confidence in your coaching, the play calls that you're choosing, because that last game we came out, uh, first play of the game, 74-yard touchdown. You know, I think that just went to tell us we can beat these guys. And why not start the season off the way we ended the regular season last year with a victory over our rivals?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
With a 75-yard touchdown pass to
Started
Nico
off the
Collins.
same way. This time, throw it to Tank Dell. Really, this time, throw it to Stephon Diggs. Welcome him to the city, man.
Right.
Yeah. We got potholes, Stephon. Watch the potholes, baby.
Hey man,
Lots
he
of
but,
traffic,
hey
man.
man, he used to live in Minneapolis. He lived in Buffalo. He ain't usually used to
Yeah.
live in a big city like this. So we got to get a
Yeah.
man some grace. He ain't. We what 20 million strong up down here. We got people down here, partner. That's not including illegals too. So no, there's a lot of people in this city.
I thought Buffalo was New York.
All right, so week two we got the Chicago
Week two.
Bears.
Now, week two, I predicted this was going to be a primetime game. I didn't predict the Bears at week two, but I did predict that the Bears were going to be a primetime game, which it is. It's on Sunday night, first game, which is lovely for me as a season ticket holder. That I ain't on the first home game of the season. I ain't got to be rushing trying to get to the stadium. I can take my time. The game ain't till 7 o'clock.
You
It's
can go
gonna be
praise the, you can
lovely. You're
praise,
gonna
you
have
can go
time to
praise the Lord.
tailgate and get drunk, sober up, get drunk again, and then enjoy the game. It's gonna be a great game, and we're gonna beat the hell out of the number one overall pick.
Any thoughts?
Oh, I can't wait for this game. Honestly, this is the matchup between you talk about wide receiver trios because it's obviously been a talking point in the last few weeks. These are the top two wide receiver trios in the league. We got Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and then on the other side, obviously Roma Dunzier, Keenan Allen, and DJ Moore. A lot of fireworks in this game to kick off week two or cap week two on Sunday Night Football. This could be a wild shootout.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not really sold on Caleb Williams. Yeah, I know that from for the last 2 years. But I think if he is going to be something special, it's good to catch him really early before he figures the NFL out as a rookie and to get the whole offense because they did have a lot of moving parts like we did last year. So it took a rookie a couple of games. If he is talented, everybody say is it takes him a couple of games to really get understanding what he has. So I like to catch him early before he start figuring out if he's gonna be that good. And I think this is a good time to catch him.
Yeah, I agree with those comments. This will be a good test for us. It'll be a lot of emotion coming into our first home game, prime time. The Bears have some nice weapons. They also added Swift in the backfield. So it's going to challenge us on how we deal with speed. And I think we'll prevail. Our offensive line is going to have a challenge against Sweat and the other defensive linemen. And our DBs are going to have to step up because they will be challenged as well.
Hmm.
And so be a nice test, but I see us prevailing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we move on, man. Right now, I like the beginning of the schedule because it's going to lead into another pivotal game that we're going to talk about in a second. That could be they may it may be a flexible game. I don't know if how when and where they can start flexing games, but if it sets up correctly, this could be one of the flexible games, and I'm gonna talk about it when we get to it. But week 3 is the Minnesota Vikings. We go to Minnesota. I think the last time we went to Minnesota, we got our asses embarrassed. Um, I think that was the David Culley. Was it David Culley era?
I think so.
Well, we went up to Minnesota and got beat like a drum.
Mm-hmm.
And I try to not to remember it, but yeah, it was Davis Mills coming out party. What are y'all thoughts about Minnesota, who's in kind of sort of in a rebuilding mode, and you get the revenge game of what's his name
Jonathan Grenard and Danielle Hunter
Right.
and
yeah,
Blake Cashman.
And Blake Cashman.
it's a lot of storylines, ain't it?
Yeah, it
And
is.
Stephon Diggs.
Stephon Diggs originally from Minnesota.
Right.
Yeah, Diggs and Case Keenum get to go back to Minnesota.
Now we
Uh,
don't need to
I
see Case on the field.
I see this game as the first game on the schedule where I would like D'Amico just to line Stingley up with Jadis and see what he got because he's gonna have some dudes to face this year, and this will be a good time to see what Stingley can bring.
Yeah, for me, this game should be an easy win for us. I'm not going to predict the scores, but I think Minnesota they don't know who quarterback is going to be the number one quarterback going into the first game of the season. So they still in a rebuild or a retooling situation. So their team is not as crisp as a team that you would have feared last year with Kirk. So not knowing if your number 11 pick JJ McCarthy is going to be a guy or they got the veteran going to be the starter for the quarterback. So the quarterback is the most important positions to have. And even though they do have some good weapons, that quarterback position is not determined yet. So I'm not really worried about this team right now, especially that early.
Yeah, I believe it is going to be a little bit too early to see JJ McCarthy.
Mhm.
I think what is this? Week 3, week 3.
Yeah,
If they're smart, they let him sit down and learn instead of just throwing him out there to the wolves. Sam Darnold is going to be their quarterback that starts. He's trash, but he's good enough to hold on for 3 to 8 weeks until the bye week, and then they can implement JJ McCarthy in there. They also did pick up Aaron Jones at running back,
They
uh,
did.
so that gives them a little bit of a running game to maybe pull some pressure off of the quarterback position. Uh, they've got a decent squad, but a lot of their players have left. Most of the good players have left, and they tried to replace them with other players like Grenard. Um, we know Grenard. Maybe he's in. I don't wish injury on nobody, but by week 3 he was usually injured. Um,
Right.
I think they got Shaquille Griffin over there. They've got some other guys, Todd Chandler. Just kind of like a pitch podge full of guys that's just trying to find a spot in the NFL. I see this as a win for us. Just at 3-0 at this point.
Well, Chris, I want to piggyback what you said about the trash quarterback as Sam Donald.
Sure.
And we've shown that this team needs to, if this team is going to be a Super Bowl contender, they got to take care of quarterbacks who are not on their level as the
Right.
Pat Mahomes and the Aaron Rodgers and all the top tier guys. We can't allow going forward to have below average quarterbacks throw for 300 yards against us. So this
Right.
should be a real good test on defense alone to show what kind of caliber team we got going forward. We have to beat the teams that we should beat, that we have better talent in. It shouldn't be a
Right.
game. So this is actually a real good game for us to show what kind of mental this team has.
I think that's a great point. I think we let Ritter go off on us last year.
We let Ritter, we let Bryce get his
Jules had
first
a good
win.
point.
Hmm?
I
I
think
say
Zach Wilson,
Jules had a good point.
No, y'all be sleeping on niggas over here. But anyway, we had Bryce get his first win, was
right?
ridiculous. They had Zach Wilson, who damn near quit on his team.
Yeah.
One day before he said he start the game, he went off on us. And it's just the mentality that you can't let bad quarterbacks and bad offenses beat you. And this year and the next year going forward, it just can't be. We can't allow that to happen going forward.
Right. Here's one thing. I think some who was that just mentioned. Is that Yvonne? She great. She always does a great job. By the way, everybody listening over there, please hit like and share and subscribe.
There
Thank
you
you
go.
guys for joining us. We love the input that you guys got. Yvonne made a very good comment. They also got Dallas Turner. Dallas Turner.
That was actually Lackville, so
Was it
don't.
Lackville
It
too?
was Lackville that
Good
said
job, Blackview. Dallas Turner is going to be a good edge guy for them guys. The thing is that I love about the Texans, and I told somebody this on the space earlier today. Anytime you bring up a defensive end or a nice rush guy, back in the day, it used to scare me or it used to worry you. But when you got a guy like a Laramie Tunsil, and a lot of people don't want to agree, but when you also got a guy like a Titus Howard, it kind of doesn't worry you. You kind of be like, well, that's a stalemate right there.
Right.
I think we can handle any defensive end, any pass rusher that comes our way. That usually scares some teams. Like when you say we got to play the Browns this week, so a lot of teams are like, "Oh my God, what are we going to do against Myles Garrett?" And all we got to say is we got the Myles Garrett stopper.
Pretty much.
So when you bring up Dallas, what is his name, Dallas Turner and guys like that, which are great guys, great pass rushers, Tunsil shuts that shit down.
Ron said it. They become non-existent with Tunsil.
He does, and it's a good feeling to have, man, because you know that your quarterback can go back there and operate. You know that your offensive coordinator can actually run some plays. So that's a great point,
Right.
Chris. That was a real good point, Chris.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Y'all made some good points. I'm gonna have to disagree with one of your first points, though. I think JJ McCarthy is starting by that point. I'm not super high on him, but if he can't beat out Sam Darnold, even 3 weeks into the season, what we've seen from Sam Darnold over the last few years is, I mean, come on.
No, did you see what he put out in rookie minicamp for the Vikings?
I don't care.
I didn't see it.
Oh my God, man!
He couldn't hit one of the trash cans.
He couldn't hit. Look. I said it on space. JJ McCarthy couldn't hit. He couldn't piss in the ocean, and if he's standing in it, okay.
Okay, it's all about mini camps, but we seen bad quarterbacks and mini camps and training camps look good in the regular season.
Like who?
Pat Mahomes.
Well, as we speak, the NFL Network giving the Texans a segment right here.
Okay.
What they saying?
We're going to week 4. We got to go through the schedule first.
Well, no, I was also going to point out the most dangerous aspect of the Vikings, obviously, is their receiving core with Justin Jefferson, arguably the best receiver in the game, Jordan Addison, who had a really nice rookie year, and then TJ Hawkinson, who came out strong last year. Their O-line is not that good, obviously, and their secondary is hot garbage. I do like Dallas Turner in that defense. It's going to be interesting just to kind of keep an eye on the progress and development of Blake Cashman and Jonathan Grenard in that defense. Ivan Pace Jr., who was like one of my favorite late round guys last year, ended up going undrafted and started damn near every game last year. But their defensive line is not good at all. So I think we should win pretty comfortably in that game.
Yeah, it'll be a good game to prepare for the blitz as well. Flores is known to bring exotic packages as well as I think they had a super high blitz percentage last year.
They did. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah, shout out to Mr. Invisible. And Underdog Phil, Big Phil said that's if Tunsil not holding, getting flag thrown.
We ain't starting with the hate right now, man. We just talking about with the game, man. Let's not start to hate on the flags now. We good. Let's go.
Let's go, Jayson. You have any comments on the schedule so far?
Yeah, I'll piggyback something that Jules said early on when he's talking about having the 4 preseason games. I think it does play to the Texans' favor. And we've known who the opponents have been for quite some time. But with that being said, seeing how the schedule's set up, I don't think you could ask for it to lay out better. And we'll get to the second half later. And, NFL coaches and front offices, they look at the NFL season in quarters. So we're about at that first quarter point of those first four games. And I'll say this: the Texans are 0-5 against the Vikings in history, 16-4 against the Jags the last 20 games. But I don't think you could ask for a better opening. And part of that plays into that fourth preseason game to where the NFL's kind of went away from playing their starters almost at all in the preseason. So the first couple weeks of the regular season has been like preseason football. It's real sloppy play, not a lot of chemistry. Well, the Texans with that fourth preseason game, if they take the risk, get those guys out there, calculated risk for a couple reps here and a couple of those games, and then they have the continuity that the Texans spoke about, definitely on the offensive side of the ball. You bring back your quarterback coach, you bring back your OC, you bring back Dalton Schultz, excuse me. And then you upgrade all of the positions with Blake Fisher adding depth there, the tackle positions behind Titus and Tunsil you talked about. Stephon Diggs to the wide receiver core, that a complete addition to the wide receiver core after what he accomplished as a rookie going into year two. And so, I'll cut it there. But basically, you look at these first four games, the Texans have only won more than two games to start a season one time. That's when they won 5 back in 2012. I think this schedule set up for them to have their second season with 3+ wins to start the year, and that 5+ wins to start the year, that franchise record that no one's came close to touching. This Texans roster is built with this schedule set up to put that franchise record in jeopardy.
Ooh.
I got you. I feel you.
Hey, I like that talk. I like that talk. We know we going on to week 4. I'm looking at it now. I can see it. I can see clearly now. Jacksonville, man, at home, week 4. We get Jacksonville early this year. Honestly, man, me personally, I think Jacksonville is not who everybody's cracking them up to be. But it's Trevor Lawrence. I said it before on the last pod. It's Trevor Lawrence's contract year for him to get paid. So it's gonna be a tough battle. But I think we haven't beaten Jacksonville and NRG. In what, 2 years? 2 or 3 years? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I guess everybody went away. The rain is gone.
No. What was the question?
No, I was saying I don't know when the last time we beat Jacksonville in Houston.
Jacksonville and Houston, we beat Jacksonville like 9 out of the last 11 tries or something.
Yeah, I thought we.
Yeah, but I thought the last 2 years we lost at home to Jacksonville.
No. They haven't beat us like the first time they beat us like a year ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. 31-3 in NR. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, that was Jacksonville. So we'll do some more research on that one.
2021.
Yeah.
What are you trying to say, AD?
It was 2 years since we beat Jacksonville at home.
Right.
There you go. So he was right.
Yeah,
because that was the last time we beat them at home was the Tyrod Taylor game. We thought we had something.
Right.
With David Culley, like Larry and Stafford say, chewing on his tongue.
Yeah, but that's the only 2 times Jacksonville's beat the Texans since 2017.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, like you say, history's on our side. I think that's we don't have to harp on Jacksonville. There's a division game. We all know about it. But I think this next week 5, is gonna be a epic game at home. We get back-to-back home games, and we get to play Buffalo at home. It's gonna be probably the marquee game on CBS. Probably gonna get Tony Romo and what's his name? Jim Nance.
Yeah.
So Stephon Diggs coming back to play Josh Allen. Last time Josh Allen played in Houston, we all know what happened in the playoff game. So it's gonna be really, 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 exciting game, exciting time. Stadium gonna be rocking. So what are y'all
They
thoughts
said
about
that's the H-Town Blue game.
it? It is. Yep.
Well, for me, I don't know what Buffalo's going to be because they did a lot. They did lose a lot of talent, a lot of stars, and they did recruit some of their receivers. I love
Oh,
the Coleman is a star on interviews. If you watch that kid on interviews, he's really genuine, and I'm really rooting for that kid just on the interviews alone. But I don't know what they actually going to be because of the turnover they had in their roster. So I'm really interested to see what kind of team we got. And I really don't believe that Josh Allen is going to be the same Josh Allen with losing his top receivers from last year because he always already had issues with accuracy and throwing the ball like supposed to. And I'm just not. I don't know what he's going to be going forward. So that game is going to be a real toss up for me because I see a lot of positions that Buffalo is still going to be a top team in the NFL and AOC and the team to beat, and they got some people going to the playoffs. And just with the roster turnover, I just don't know. I'm just
What?
saying if you look at the media and right on the wall, they still think that Josh Allen is an MVP candidate and he's gonna make this team go because he's a star quarterback.
Let me say this, man. Josh Allen proved how valuable Brian Daboll is
But he
because
did but he
Josh
did turn it
Allen's
around.
issue before Brian Dable got a hold to him is that Josh Allen used to do a lot of dumb shit.
But he did turn around once
Still
they fired the
does.
OC
And hold on,
and
hold on. That's
they
my
got new
point,
OC.
Larry. That's my point. And as soon as Brian Daboll left, the dumb shit start to arise again. And
Right.
that is ingrained in his play. He's forever going to be limited. He has a lot of talent. He's a great quarterback, but his ceiling is never going to be where everybody projects or the media projects it to be because he does the dumb shit.
But under Joe Brady, he did look a lot better, and the offense did like Brady once he gave the reins to him as OC.
Again,
That's facts.
again, do you want me to bring up that Minnesota game, Jules?
No, we got it. I mean, we still got 12 more games to
You
go.
want to bring up the dumb shit that he does on a weekly basis? Hell,
We
you can
got
look at the Pittsburgh game in the
we
playoffs.
got weeks and months to go to really dive into each
Yeah,
game.
man,
So
yeah, but don't sugarcoat Josh Allen. This should
I'm
be a win for the Houston Texans.
it should be, but
Definitely.
the question is, I don't know what Buffalo's going to be because I don't know what their roster looks like. I don't know
And
if
at week 5, they probably still don't know what they gonna be.
that's
Now
why I
let's
said.
look at who they also play before they play us. They play the Cardinals, who I think is surprisingly going to surprise some teams. I think they've got the quarterback played pretty good. I mean, we played him last year, and the quarterback played pretty damn good. Damn near pulled out one against us. Then they play the Dolphins in week 2. So if they lose two games in a row where they're trying to find out who they are, trying to figure out where they belong, and then they're 2-0, and then they play the Jags, and the Jags always has the Bills number every time they play them. So if they come out of there 0-3, the next week they go play the Ravens.
Mm.
And if the Ravens spank that ass, well, guess who they play next? They play us next. And by that time, they don't know who they are. There's some finger pointing going on. They start
Yeah.
questioning, is this young wide receiver the right wide receiver for us? Because I really do like Coleman. I really do think he's going to be a great wide receiver. He's got a great attitude. He's a great personality. But he needed to be on a team where there's other great route runners and where there's other good receivers to
Mm.
take the pressure off of him having to run the perfect route because he's not a perfect route runner. He's a go ball getter. You
That's what
throw
they
it up to
got.
him, he's gonna
That's why
get
they
it.
signed Curtis Samuel, though, right?
Well, Curtis Samuel's not that.
See,
Come
there
on,
we
man.
go, man. Here we
The nigga
go.
name is Curtis, dog.
but but
His name is Curtis,
it
bro.
takes the pressure off him trying to be the dominant number one because you have a veteran receiver that control the
Correct.
ropes a little bit.
Correct. You're correct, and that's kind of what I'm, kind of going to. If he had a dominant receiver, it would help him out. Either way it goes, you're looking at a 3-1 record, a 0-4 record. Excuse me, a 1-3 record, or an 0-4 record stepping into this game with us. And if you come into the game in week 5 against us with that type of dejection
Hmm.
and loss, We're not gonna make it easy for you. We don't have no pussyfoot ass team no more. We don't have no soft ass dudes over there. We used to. We had good athletes, but we were real nice guys. But the guys they brought in here are some dogs.
Right.
The dudes we brought in here are not gonna take weeks off. They're not gonna, if they see you on the ground, they're not gonna help you up, bro. They're gonna kick you in the face. And what did the coach for the Lions say? We're gonna bite out some kneecaps. You know, we're gonna scratch your eyes out. We're gonna do whatever it takes. And you get guys over here like that. You know, you got Joe Mixon. He's not gonna take off runs just because he got you on your back on your heels. He gonna run your ass over. So Buffalo, if they ain't up to par, man, by week 5, week 4, we're gonna punch them in their mouth, and then that's when you start hearing the media talk about how good are the Texans. Because I believe at that point we're sitting at 5-0.
Mm-hmm.
I ran through this schedule last year. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
I was telling boys we start the season off 6-0, and then I had to go back and say, "Nah, we'll probably lose to the Steelers," and we beat the Steelers.
Mm-hmm.
So this week here, I got us at 5-0 this year to start us off, and it might change just depending on watching some preseason games and stuff. But as of right now, I got us at 5-0, man, with the hardest game being the Bills.
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup, and honestly, there's a good chance that's the game I'm going to go to.
Yeah, with a hand clap.
Yeah. And honestly, I mean, Buffalo, you look at their depleted secondary because they had to cut a bunch of guys because, honestly, the cap casualties eventually come. Like, you can say, oh, well, you can work the cap. No, eventually they're going to hit you. And let's see, their receiving core has been decimated. I like Ian Coleman too. Maybe not quite as much as Chris because he was kind of his Zay Flowers this year, but I was still pretty high on him. And obviously, you watch his interviews; it's hard not to root for the kid. Curtis Samuel was the guy that we were looking at as, hey, maybe that could be our 4th receiver. So I think he's going to be kind of forced into that number 2 role in Buffalo. Behind a rookie. Khalil Shakir did a little something, but like that's very underwhelming. And obviously James Cook has some talent there, but he has about 47 drops. So it's going to be an interesting offense. I think that could be an interesting game, but with their deficiencies in the secondary and receiving core, I feel pretty confident in us building on our winning streak there.
Yeah, Buffalo's strength is still their D line. As Mike and Jules said, their rosters turned over in the secondary. They lost a lot of veterans on this team. Josh Allen is going to show up. I think he has something to prove to Dig, so our secondary just better be on their game and get deep because he's going to take some shots. Pause.
And they
He's
still
gonna
got good. They still got running game, right? Cooks.
yeah, Cook had a good second half of last year, so he can turn the corner and with some speed and elusiveness. But hopefully, our defense, our front 7, can be stout enough to apply pressure to them. But I see us, this being H-Town Blue. No way we lose this game.
Okay, interesting question. I don't know how we didn't bring up the Stephon Diggs revenge game yet. I mean, you kind of hinted at it there. What do you think's more likely? Stephon Diggs has a monster 180, 200-yard receive game, or the Bills try to shut him down and Nico and Tank Dell break the game loose?
Diggs. We feed Diggs.
Yeah, you make sure Diggs gets his payback.
So Diggs is gonna have probably a 150-yard receiving game, 2 touchdowns. Yeah, I agree with Texans underground. I don't even want to talk about New England because New England is a clusterfuck right now. We're gonna move on, and we all know that's a dub in New England. We got them early. It ain't cold. It's gonna be a beautiful day. On October the 13th.
I would say never underestimate an opponent any given Sunday, but yeah, this should be a cakewalk.
Look, you talking about Drizzy Drake?
History maker
Hold
for
on,
it.
hold on. We about to play BBL Drizzy.
You say that's
BBL Drizzy.
we've never been
Jacob,
6-0, Larry.
We've never been 6-0, and we never won in New England.
Mm.
Jacoby Brissett is going to start the game.
Yeah, he
Probably
beat us
so.
one year.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Goddamn.
he
Yes, he did.
started in 2016 on Thursday night and kicked our butt.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
He's very
Yeah.
solid as a backup, as a starter. He's solid. So I'm not really worried about the offense that they have. The defense still good.
Jason, do you give New England a fighting chance against us?
Excuse me. No, I think the Texans are the more dominant team when you look at it. They're at the beginning of the rebuild where the Texans were a couple years ago, where the Texans are looking to take on, to move to that next upper echelon. I think, y'all guys talking about 5-0, 6-0, and I think all of that's a real possibility. Even if you look at the first two quarters to start the season, those first 8 games,
Mhm.
um, if if we were to ask Vegas right now, and I haven't looked it up, but I would imagine the Texans would be the favorite right now in those first 8 games. I don't know if we've ever said that before, and I might not be right, but just speculating, I could truly see I would put the Texans as the favorite no matter what the home and away is. That being said, we do need to see more growth from CJ Stroud. I know he's only a rookie last year. One of the areas he does need to show growth in is on the road and converting it to wins. I think he had 4 games where he didn't throw any touchdowns, and in those 4 games they lost all 4, and all 4 of them were on the road. 2 of them being against Baltimore that they get their revenge against this year here in Houston.
Hmm.
Mm.
Yes, sir.
And
Yes, sir. And
you know,
I think at this point, week 7, going into week 7, is when you start seeing the Texans getting patted on the back by the
Mhm.
media,
mhm.
by fans, and by. I just don't think. I don't think the coaches. I don't think D'Amico runs the ship like that. So I don't think it will ever affect us. It might affect the Texans fan base because we're gonna be talking a lot of shit. But if we start the season off 6-0, going into the Green Bay Packers game, expect for them to try to crown us at that point. We're the team to beat. Nobody
Mhm.
can mess with us. Look at what Stroud is doing. Maybe he should have been the MVP last year. Why didn't they get the coach of the year to D'Amico last year? And we're going into a part of the season where you have to continue to pull your socks all the way up. You can't go out there half stepping. You know what I mean? So go ahead, AD.
Yeah, I mean, this is one of the game I was alluding to when we started talking about before we started talking about Buffalo. This game against the Green Bay Packers, I don't know if it's flexible, but it's one of those games
It's too
where
early.
it's too
I think,
early.
think week
Yeah.
12, week 13.
I was like, this could be one of the games where they can flex it, the prime time. But again, it's on CBS at 12 o'clock. This is gonna get the Jim Nance, Tony Romo treatment. You got 2 of the top young up and coming quarterbacks.
Jordan Love.
Green Bay could potentially be 4-2, 5-1, or 6-0, just as the Texans, and it can be one of those games, you know, that is a test. What they call it,
Test tube,
Measuring
baby.
stick.
no,
Not a
I'm
test tube, baby.
a measuring stick
Measuring
game.
stick.
Yeah, it's gonna be
A benchmark.
right. I think I think that this game is going to be one of the most crucial games of the season. It's going to solidify if we go out and we beat Green Bay in Lambeau in the middle of October, where the weather's starting to turn, and we handle our business and we show up and show out. Mind you, Green Bay did lose their top running back, but they
Yeah,
did gain another running back.
yeah.
Right.
Jacob,
It's kind of a lateral move.
yeah,
Right. So,
Nobody no younger.
you know,
No, catch better.
Green Bay did get a great linebacker in the draft.
Oh, here we go
Uh,
with that. I knew why you want to talk about
They
this game
did get a
so
great
much.
linebacker
Man,
in
listen,
the draft.
my
hey,
take about game 7
Was that a
about
smart pick, AD?
it was excellent. They were genius, man.
man, listen. They had a good draft though. Let's not
Green Bay
undersell
had an excellent
that
draft,
draft.
man.
But
What a draft.
Headline by who?
by this time, week 7, whatever our record is when we getting these accolades, this part of the season is when we actually Um, we show the NFL who we truly are. This is what we set apart. Are we pretenders? Our contenders are what we're going to be. That team to beat with this part of the schedule. Because this now you're having some
Mhm.
real teams that you have to face to show that you really are where you want to be. Because at the first 5 games, some divisional games, some teams not really up to your roster type to competition. But these next games here, that the middle of the team of this roster of the schedule is going to tell you who you really are.
Mhm.
I disagree with that.
I'm not surprised, Chris.
I disagree with
What you
that.
got, Larry, Mike, Jason? Well, Jason said his piece already.
Green Bay, this is actually a game that I'm considering traveling to just
Mm.
because of when it's in early in the year, so it won't be too cold, won't be freezing, the frozen
Mhm.
tundra. So I may
Right.
try to get my coin together and go to Green Bay. Um, I think that the Packers have a solid team. They're going to be competing with the Bears and the Lions for the division, but they have a very tough schedule, and so this could be one where uh, if the cards fall right, the Texans can catch them slipping and just go in there and put the game away early, and
Mm.
just be up big and be resting starters in the fourth quarter.
Ooh, I don't know about that one, Larry. I don't think about rest.
Damn.
I don't
Yeah,
know. This
that's
this
a
this
hot take.
this is a playoff team from last year. They gonna get better like we gonna get better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, that's a hot take then.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I like the way the Packers have built this young up and coming roster, and like you said, AD, I mean they really did have a nice draft. Kind of headlined by Kalen King, that corner. This
The
Yeah,
corner,
on the
yeah, the
roster.
corner was a beast.
that was their best
That was their
pick.
best pick.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Penn State.
yeah.
I liked Marshawn Lloyd as well. I mean, he steps in as their
Another great pick.
yeah, behind AJ Dillon and Josh Jacobs. So they're going to have a really nice balanced offense. Obviously, they got a whole hell of a lot of receivers, none of whom are like superstars, but they all, I mean, due to all the injuries they had last year, they all had to step in and deliver, like Bo Melton, Malik Heath, Jaden Reed, Romeo Dobbs, Christian Watson when he did play, Wicks. I mean, so they have a nice up and coming, balanced offense. Their defense, I mean, they got hella depth. Edrin
Mm.
Cooper, I think
Mm.
They
I
got
think
that
they're
good
all,
depth.
I think they're already working on his statue for the Hall of
Mhm.
Fame.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a
So
done deal.
I heard they
look,
picked him
look,
up for special teams.
hold on. So I had a bet. Let me, because we need to start moving on. We at week 8. We need to start moving on. But I had a side bet. Somebody asked me or said, "Do I think that Edgerrin Cooper can put up the same stats that Henry Noah did last year?"
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. Wow.
And I'm like, "You just want me to take your money? You just want me to take your money? Like 60 tackles and a 2 tackle for loss? Like, you don't think Edgerrin Cooper can do that in a full year?"
There's no way somebody said that.
Yeah, you know who it is.
I actually don't.
Y'all do know it's friend of the pod, man. He know who he is. But I ain't gonna do him like that. But you
All
know,
right.
Brandon say Javon Bullard. They
Yeah,
did
that
draft
was a
him
nice
as
pick
well.
too.
The Packers game is going to come down to which QB makes the last play. Yeah, I do think CJ is a better quarterback than Love, but we got the Colts again in week 8, so we get the Colts done and over with early. This one,
So y'all gave them a win or a loss on that week?
the Packers. I mean, as a group, we say a win.
Down to the wire, that might be one of the top 2 or 3 games of the year for the Texans. But yeah, I think the Texans pull it out.
Just to balance the season predictions, I'll give them a loss. Just because I know it's a tough game. I don't think we're gonna lose that game, but I don't want to sit here and say we're gonna go 17-0.
Yeah, I got them winning that game. I mean, it's just by as of today, I got them winning that game.
Okay. Do you have them losing one of the other ones earlier in the week? Earlier in the season?
I do. I have them losing. I forgot what, not Buffalo, the game before Buffalo. Oh, Jacksonville.
Jacksonville.
I mean,
Jacksonville.
Jacksonville. Yeah.
Okay.
Divisional game, they rivals. They even though they haven't been this in a long time, it's still always gonna. I think Trevor Lawrence and his offense has something to prove. I think this is his prove year where he has
Yeah.
to put together because now he's taking slugs and bullets that the generational talent that he's supposed to be when he was drafted 4 years ago. Is taking hits and his cape is kind of being pulled on right now. So I think this year he has to put together, and he's also playing for a big contract too. So it may be a little more emphasis him being the man this year.
I agree with that, Jules. I think Lawrence is still the second best quarterback in the division. He is there's a big gap between CJ, and the other two.
Correct.
All right, so week 8, we got a rematch with the Colts in Houston. We should have a good idea at that point of the progress of Anthony Richardson, assuming he can stay healthy, which is not an easy assumption given he had 47 different injuries in 4 games last year. What are y'all's thoughts on this rematch?
The Colts game, we gonna lose this game, y'all. I hate to break it to you. We can't go 17-0.
So you're saying I shouldn't go to that one?
No, don't go. No. Don't go
I
to.
mean, it's going to be a good game.
And
I'll tell you that much.
if Jules is in attendance, we definitely gonna lose that game.
Well, the way the ticket price is going to be, it's going to be a little harder for me to go to a game this year because them ticket prices are sky high. But I mean,
I just saw somebody buy 2 tickets. I forgot what game it was, but it was $300 and something for section 602. That's at the top.
right.
Good God.
Right. I mean, that's where we at, right? Height, expectations, more money, more criticism, more shots at us. Everybody gonna put their plus game against because we on everybody's tongue. So yeah, now you gotta go out there and earn it.
Brandon say AR-15 will be injured by then. If it's Flacco, we definitely losing that game. If it's Flacco,
Wow.
I thought
Okay, so we're in opposite day at this point.
I thought Jameson was there.
no.
Who did Jameson sign with?
Jameis Winston.
I thought we've overcome Flacco.
Jameis went with the Cleveland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought somewhere else.
Yeah,
Anyway,
he'll be starting by week 2.
I mean, it's gonna be a tough game because I think the Texans fans are underestimating the Colts and what they did the last couple of years. I think it's gonna be a good game regardless.
So the reason why I say that is because Joe Flacco's ability and what he's great at or good at is exactly what the Colts need on offense. It's somebody that can get the ball down the field deep. They have the Pierces and the Pittmans and AD Mitchells now. They have the weapons to push the ball down the field. They just had a running back at quarterback last year who didn't know how to keep his head up.
So here's a question: if everything is equal and they both JT Taylor and AR-15 are healthy, how do you feel that game will go?
If AR-15 is healthy, I still honestly, I'm not. This is the thing: we're not going undefeated.
Well, I got that,
this is just a scheduled loss for me. Just like in the NBA where they have.
Why wouldn't Green Bay be a scheduled loss instead of this team?
Because I feel like it'll have more pressure on the team to perform at that point. It's to me it's a more high profile game. I don't think the Colts will be as good as people expect them to be. So I think it'll be kind of a letdown game, especially when you the second thing is a short week. The following week, you play on a Thursday night game the following week against the New York Jets in New York.
Yeah.
So this could potentially be a trap game when you play Green Bay and then you backdoor and play on a Thursday night game on Halloween against Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Yeah.
We play on the 31st?
Yeah, we play on Halloween.
Halloween.
We play on all the holidays, Christmas, every holiday except Thanksgiving.
So the 27th is what day?
It's a Sunday. It's right there on the screen. Yeah. And I know I sent this.
I'm looking at my phone.
I know I sent this in the group chat earlier. Text. And I know this is a hot take, if, and obviously it's a big if, but if at this point in the season we haven't seen a significant improvement in the field conditions with the Jets, because they've made some changes to the stadium, but if they haven't made significant changes, I'm resting key starters for this game. I am. I'm not letting them ruin our damn season on a short week. And, it could be really shitty weather. It's October 31st. I'm not letting that happen. Resting CJ. I'm resting Stephon, Nico, Dale. I know most of y'all, if not all of y'all, will disagree with that, but
All
I'm
of
not
us,
taking any chances.
I'm
Sure.
going to disagree with you.
Basically, everybody.
Yeah.
So this the Davis Mills game, huh? Davis Mills versus Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
So
I'm not letting y'all ruin our Super Bowl run.
Hold on. So you willing to take a loss just so you could think so the field, just for the field?
Yep. 8-1.
Oh my god. Hey, Jayson.
NRG got more just as many victims as the Jets stand.
Right.
Oh, hell no.
Hey,
So
Jayson.
just so y'all know, we going into the stretch of 3 straight primetime games, y'all.
Yep.
Well, I do want to make another point about the Colts before we move on. Just scheme for scheme, Steichen gives D'Amico scheme difficulty. And so I would imagine as just a basic continuous improvement model, D'Amico and his staff have been working on how do they improve against the Colts. And so maybe they split, but I'm seeing that they're going to be a much better prepared team against the Colts defensively. We had so many busts in coverage. We had so many tight ends that were wide open that I see us being much better against the Colts.
Well, I guess to piggyback what Larry said, my thing is the quarterback running. Houston has had a history of being hurt by running quarterbacks. So that's one of my biggest targets to see how they do that going forward.
They played the Dolphins right the week before that, so they're gonna be going up against the same type of system almost 2 weeks in a row. Hopefully, the Dolphins kind of punish them a little bit, wear them out as far as having to cover those wide receivers.
Pause.
And then back door and have to play us.
Pause. That's a lot of pausing in there, man.
So
y'all punish and backdooring and pause.
I don't believe the Colts had any significant addition to their secondary, and their secondary was very poor. Besides Kenny Moore, they don't really have any
got Juju
guys back there. Well, yeah, keep Juju out there. He was getting abused. Our guy, Killer Cows, man, Nico Collins wore Juju out.
Hey,
no need to pause.
Hey, but before we go into this stretch of primetime games, because I really want to run through the predictions at the end. Y'all go ahead and I'm gonna put this banner down there. Y'all go ahead and like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. Y'all go ahead and make sure y'all follow Jayson Braddock on Twitter.
Yes, sir.
As well as on Sporting News, as he's a contributor and writer for Sporting News for the Houston Texans. So y'all go ahead and support Jayson Braddock as he's putting out fire content all the time, doing hellified breakdowns of all the prospects and of all what he's seen in minicamp and what he will see. And he's in the room, man. So y'all go ahead and he, will provide that information on a daily basis. He's a great follow. Y'all go ahead and support Jayson Braddock, man.
Hey, before we go to the next game, we will see Aaron Rodgers in that game with the Jets. Yes, we will. We will. I'll predict.
You sure he ain't gonna be on the campaign trail?
I'll predict he will be there.
You sure? Because that's right before Super Tuesday. He may not be there. He may not be there.
But as Chris always says, you want to get your team ready for Super Bowls and championship runs. You want to see Aaron Rodgers test your defense.
No.
Yeah, that's the week before E-Day. You're right, AD.
I will take the W no matter how it comes.
I'm trying to be battle ready.
I'm
Yeah,
telling
so
you. I'm telling
Exactly.
you.
That's
I'm
why we
telling
need
you.
to rest the guys.
Right.
8-1. Now we make our run.
All
I'm
right,
hey,
telling you, they're the best record in the AFC, man.
Jules, I think
Sir.
we going into the game that you picked, man. We going into the Detroit Lions game.
man. This game
Sunday
is
night
my
football.
this is my favorite game in the whole schedule. I think it's two up and coming teams. They kind of built the similar from the ground up. They did go get their quarterback in the trade. But as far as anything else, they are pretty much homegrown from from when the coach Campbell got there. Everybody's pretty much his guy kind of pick. That team looks like him. They talk like him. They walk like them. They play like him. He's an inspiring coach. He's a mirror image of what D'Amico Ryan has been for this organization. So I think this is one of the best. It might not be the best game for on the schedule for me. It's the most exciting game for me because I just like the fact that there's two hungry teams and we are a year behind them because they got their coach before us and they got to a bigger push in the NFC Championship, the playoff game last year. So they one step above us. So we're right behind them, and it'll be a great game for us to win and even compete in this game. It's just and they're talented from head to toe on offense and defense. They improve. They signed a lot of their players. They signed their tackle, their receiver. They get golf money. So the team is bought into what their window of championship or playoff run is look like, and they're bought in. So a team like that against a team like ours, our up and coming team, it's just a great competition for us.
Could we say future Super Bowl matchup?
It could be.
It could be.
It could be.
Yeah, I'm excited for this matchup as well. Jules, obviously, since he came up with the idea for us to highlight individual games we're most excited to see, he took mine first. But Detroit and Houston should be a really damn good game. I'm really glad it's in prime time. These are two potential, Super Bowl contenders right here. Obviously, I would put, if you rank them right now, obviously everything's on paper. We haven't seen them yet, but you're ranking them. Super Bowl contenders, top 4 in the AFC. Houston's definitely there. Top 4 in the NFC. Detroit's definitely there. Detroit's got a really nice roster. Obviously, Dan Campbell has really instituted a cultural fit for all these guys that have worked really, really damn well. Ben Johnson has that offense just fucking rolling. I really like that game. I think it's going to might be the best game on our schedule. I would want to go to that one, but I think tickets are probably gonna be $1,000.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I'm telling y'all right now, this not gonna be the one of the games we're gonna give away.
No.
You ain't gotta tell them up front now. You can let them wonder for a minute.
No, ain't no wondering. I don't need nobody having any false hope.
You might have to give preseason tickets away, man.
Oh, yeah, we for sure preseason giving away, but this ain't one of them.
Yeah, we're gonna be 7-1 by this. What was it? 8-1 by this point.
Yeah, this would be a nice matchup like we did back years ago on Thanksgiving Day. It's going to be a shootout. I see it being Texans taking it like 48-45. Ain't no defense.
Can we get the Justin Forsett look again?
Yes.
So Mr. Jordan,
ain't gonna be much defense. You might have a few sacks, but they ain't gonna be stopping very many offensive plays. It's gonna be a lot of points.
I like it, man. Then we move right on into the following primetime game on Monday Night Football. I think this is the first Monday night game we've had.
In a minute.
Monday night game.
About 3 years, man. Against the Dallas Cowboys.
This is the Diggs versus Diggs game.
Diggs versus Diggs.
So the Detroit game was a live TV game.
Yes, Sunday night. So we played Thursday night against the Jets. Then we backdoor and play Sunday night against the Lions, and then we backdoor and play on Monday night against the Cowboys. So we played 3 back-to-back primetime games.
Okay.
Some nice rest in between games.
Yes, right.
Yeah, that's what's up.
They gave
This
us that rest, Larry, for the end of the season. They hoeing us, so
Yeah.
we
yeah.
we can go on. But
This the
what do
only
y'all?
game we gotta win.
Right.
Oh no,
We're
We're
not. We're
past
not.
that era.
Media. We ain't
Yeah,
worried about that.
we long gone past that,
They
man.
just team on the schedule.
Yeah, they
No, they gotta win this game.
I mean, there's a little bit of extra, but it's
So
we're past.
there's no chance to wear all red going up there, huh?
no, we went red against the Lions.
Against the Lions.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'll probably be in the either probably all navy or the blue and white,
It's gonna be a tough game though.
Oh yeah.
or Dallas may pull out their blue jerseys. I don't know. They hardly wear them at home, but I don't think they ever wear them at home. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Cowboys have a lot of combinations. I have seen road teams be able to wear their alternates at
Hmm.
Dallas because of the way they change their uniform.
Right.
Seattle
It
won.
could be the third time because right now you got the H Town Blue alternate against the Bills, and then you got the all red alternate against the Lions on Sunday Night Football. And then, hey, this could be, one of those that third game that they pull it out, but we will see.
Hey, Mr.
Last
Braddock, what
year.
do you think about all of these nationwide games? What do you call them? Prime time games?
Nationwide is on your side.
What you
Yeah,
think
no,
about?
my prediction was 5 primetime games. They hit around that ballpark with
Mm.
4 primetime games. Then they have the Saturday game, and then also the Thursday game. I mean, basically, the Texans have become the new America's team, playing on Sunday,
Mm,
Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday.
mm,
I mean, the only days they don't play on is Tuesdays and Fridays.
mm. And look, you
And
can't play on Fridays in Texas. That's relegated for high school football.
That's no.
And Tuesday's the rest day where they
Yeah.
try out players around the NFL. So I
Mm.
mean, it's
Hmm,
only way I could define it is call it the new America's team.
that's
there you
right.
go.
Texans got
So,
Saturdays at 3:30 on lock.
So what's your thoughts about this Cowboys and Texans game on Week 11?
Yeah, just to put a period on the early part of the season, we were talking earlier about continuity, and I think not only is that tilted towards the Texan sides for everything we talked about that they have going, but getting the Colts with Anthony Richardson, who's this is basically his rookie season. I mean, he missed so much time last year. Y'all talked about Adonai Mitchell, who I thought was a top 15 talent that the Colts stole there in the middle of the second round. You're getting him in his first game as a pro. So the Texans should be, if it plays out the way they're built, both rosters, the Texans should benefit from their continuity and the lack of that from the Colts there week one. Then the next week, you get more of the same with Caleb Williams in his second NFL game. So you get him early. You want to get these super ultra talented rookies early before all the chemistry and everything's built, really after the lack of playing time in the preseason. Same thing in Minnesota. I mean, like I told you earlier, you couldn't ask, after knowing the opponents, you couldn't ask for the schedule to lay out better. And I won't be a spoiler with the bye, but just the way the primetime games and everything just laid out for the schedule, especially that start and the continuity, specifically on the offensive side of the ball, the Texans should flow. If they don't go at least 6-2 through the first 8 games, I would consider it a disappointment for that franchise. And then you get here to the Dallas game. Both of these teams, Dallas tied for the best record FC at 12-5 last year with the 49ers and the Lions. Texans also played the Lions you talked about. They'll wear those alternate jerseys. So I wish it was kind of color rush game like back in the day where we
Mhm.
saw the Lions in all blue. So it really bring back that north and south side vibe of Houston back
Hey,
in the late 90s, early 2000s.
hey.
There you go. There you go, Jason.
But that Cowboys game, I think y'all all hit the nail on the head. I picked up on how y'all saying like, nah, that's the years past, the years of the Texans' moral victory era, to where that Cowboys game meant more because you knew that was really all you're playing for.
Mhm.
Now there's so much more on the plate. and you're playing those top teams, the Chiefs, the Ravens, all in the AFC, that with the Cowboys being in the NFC, I agree with all of y'all's point that it takes a downtick this year. Although it being on Monday night, they can really stake their claim there at the end of those three straight primetime games, beating the Dallas Cowboys in Dallas there at the end of those three primetime runs.
Right, like I said, I don't want to argue with Larry. It's a must win. It's a must win because of the team they're playing and the roster they're playing, not because they're the Dallas Cowboys. It's not because it's a Houston Dallas rivalry. Because you got the high school football and all that stuff. It's because the roster makes it a must win game to solidify this team going forward.
The Battle of Texas too. I mean,
Mm.
that always holds weight, and it's on national TV on Monday Night Football. I mean, you just as a football fan, you have to love that. If you have roots in Texas, you really love it because football's different here. It just hits differently here. And now you got Houston versus Dallas, both two of the top teams in their conferences going at it on Monday Night Football. You couldn't ask for more as a fan.
Right, and it's one of those off schedule things because we weren't supposed to play Dallas for another 2 years, and
Oh,
so
Dallas is the
absolutely. They
only
expect.
team I hate.
mhm.
They have the benefit of the expansion of the schedule, like you mentioned, AD,
Right.
to where you get that one game that is not the conference you play in the NFC or the conference you play in the AFC or one of the teams from your conference twice or one of the teams that finished in the same position in their division as you did in your conference. There's no formula to this. This is just a rivalry game. They know this is what fans want, and it couldn't happen a better year. And to put it on Monday Night Football,
Mm.
it's just the chef's kiss.
Yes, sir. So I think we're gonna move on, and then we gonna give our predictions after we finish. But I think we sitting pretty good right now, record wise, amongst the group.
So do we beat the Cowboys?
Of course.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So now we go into the Tennessee Jacksonville back-to-back division games, one at home, one away. Tennessee at home, Jacksonville. I'm surprised we did not pull out the H-Town Blue on Tennessee. But we pull, I don't think any division game we pull out any of the alternates. So that's different.
Well, Hannah say they beneath us, so she's not going as rival with Amy. Amy's not a rival with her. She's not going to play down to them how we did at Blue. She said she's above that, so she wouldn't worry about that little uniform situation with Amy and the Tennessee Titans. It's beneath her.
Yeah, I for me personally, I think Tennessee is not who everybody think they gonna be. They got Josh Allen Jr. at quarterback. Mister I do dumb shit all the time. Will Levis.
I like
Hey,
Levis.
put some respect on Josh Allen's name, okay?
Look, hey, he's Josh Allen that eat mayonnaise in his
There you go.
coffee.
I like Levis. I still like Levis.
I know, Jules.
I like him as quarterback.
I know, Jules. I'm trying to be nice.
Get some extra lettuce.
I'm interested in seeing how he progresses this year.
Jules, and you have a tendency to like white. So I'm gonna leave it at that and keep on moving. You like the white snow in Indiana.
It was beautiful. It really
You
was.
see that, Yvonne?
It
You
was
like
beautiful.
you like the white tackle Charlie Hick.
I did, but
You know,
I'm surprised on the roster still. I ain't gonna lie. I'm surprised still on the roster.
but all in all, man, as long as Will Levis the quarterback, Tennessee ain't beating us. Um, Yvonne laughing. Then we got Jacksonville in Jacksonville.
Hold on. Sorry.
Mhm.
I don't. You're not scared of their AARP receiving core?
The whole, the
Yeah,
whole thing.
really?
Look, that siren tell it all right there. Look, no, ain't nobody worried about it. It don't matter. You can have the names as much as you want. You can have talent at wide receiver room, but if you ain't got a quarterback that can get you the ball, it means absolutely nothing. So I'm not high on Will Levis at all. We will be talking about the Tennessee Titans at a later date on this podcast, but it's neither here nor that now. But Tennessee Titans, man. That's a dub, man. Going into Jacksonville.
They did improve at cornerback by bringing in Snead and Woozier, but
But who's their defense coordinator, Larry?
we learned that last night, didn't we? Wilson.
A first-time defensive coordinator.
Yeah, Wilson from the Ravens.
I don't think he.
Hey, they got some beef up front. You know what I'm saying? They got that Sweat and they got us Simmons. The defense gonna be solid.
They got beef. I mean, hey, you know we do the beef in Texas.
Let's go. on to Jacksonville.
No, but you all bring up a good point. We have talked a lot about our new triple threat at receiver, but we did not see any exotic 4 or 5 wide formations in the past. So maybe you come up against teams like this that are really lacking in talent, and you just spread them out and attack them.
You spread them out wide.
Okay. then we got week 14. We got a bye week 14.
Oh man, yeah, that's going. And you know what? The bye comes at the perfect time because the next 3 weeks after that is a gauntlet where you play the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Baltimore Ravens in 10 days.
All playoff teams.
We'll just put them all together and play this.
Good check.
Yeah, this is your make or break point of the season. I did predict us playing the Chiefs week 16 on my schedule prediction. So that's
Jesus Christ. 10 days.
Y'all gave me all kind of hell about saying playing the Chiefs later on in the season. And y'all was like, oh no, I want the Chiefs early. No,
give me the Chiefs. I wanted the Chiefs early.
Give me the Chiefs when it means something. Because if we all predicting, this could potentially mean that this game is for the number one.
Are you sticking by this silly ass shit?
What?
Now you got what you asked for.
Yeah,
this is ridiculous, man.
These three games right here.
Oh my God!
Is earning your spot. It's all the talk that everybody keeps talking about, that the Texans this, the Texans that. These 3 games, go 2 out of 3, or even going 3-0. It puts you in perfect position for the division.
I don't mind that we play them, late in the season. I don't mind that we play them consecutively. I do mind that we're playing the Dolphins, Chiefs, and Ravens within 10 days. Can we make it 21 or 20? Like, why does it have to be 10?
Hey, man, look, I'm like to tell y'all, I would say, if y'all scared, go to church.
Look, this is gonna be a testament.
We ain't got time to go to church. It's only 10 days. Church closed the other 9 days.
Yeah, this is gonna be a test. I do think the Miami Dolphins game is a very winnable game for the Houston Texans.
Yeah.
It's
That's a very interesting matchup.
It's at home, coming off of a bye.
True.
So you're going to have the rest and everything like that, and then you're playing Tua. So I mean, it's Tua.
What does that mean?
Right,
it's Tua. I don't care that he went to Alabama, just like I don't care that Henry Noah went to Bama.
I think this is the perfect time for Mike to give us one of his chicken shit ass.
Oh wow!
Sit everybody down. What you call it? Game plans. Give us that game plan again, Mike. How we sit them down? Like let's take half the team and play the Dolphins. Then the other half we play on Thursday.
Mike taking shots for no reason.
And we take a break and then we play on Sunday.
So it sounds like a lot, but you get 6 days in between the Dolphins and the Chiefs, and then you get another 4 days. Kind of like a Thursday night game.
Okay, so question.
The Ravens.
The Chiefs game is on a Saturday, right there. I see it on the screen, Mike. I see it on the screen. And then we play again on a Wednesday.
Yeah, it's
Right.
Christmas.
So does the Ravens play on Saturday or do they play on a Sunday?
Ravens gonna play on Saturday as well.
You sure?
Yes, that was announced when they brought it up that both the Ravens and the Ravens and Texans, because basically all the teams that are playing on Christmas are playing on the Saturday before.
So nobody gets the advantage.
Yeah.
So it's
So so Pittsburgh, the Ravens, the Kansas City Chiefs, Texans all gonna play on the 21st. So you should have four games. I'm sorry, on Saturday.
so we still have a little bit of an advantage to the Ravens.
Well, hold on. Does the Ravens play Pittsburgh that Saturday?
No, they play Pittsburgh on that Saturday.
Do they?
No, they play Pittsburgh on Saturday.
in week
I
16.
mean, yes. Yeah, they play Pittsburgh the 21st.
So the four teams that are playing on Christmas, they just inverted them.
Yeah.
So we play Kansas City and Baltimore plays Pittsburgh.
Yes.
All right.
Interesting. All right.
Okay.
But we actually get 4 days rest. Well,
Yeah.
3 days rest. They get 2 days rest because they got to travel.
Travel. Good call.
So they really are up against it, the Ravens.
Unless they travel to Houston early.
Yeah, after the Pittsburgh game. Yeah.
The Baltimore
I like the-
game, yes, the Steelers play in Baltimore.
Mm.
So as soon as that game is over at 3:30, then they travel to. They probably take a shower and get on the flight.
Mm.
And come, well, I don't know.
I'd
Oh,
like to really mention in week 15 that Miami is really a track team.
Yes.
So this is going to be an extreme test for our, I guess you call them our back, our back seven.
Yes.
And
most definitely.
if anybody gets loose, how to defend all that speed on the field. And so this is the prime example for Chris's pursuit of greed. They have so much speed on their team. And adding Odell as your third or fourth receiver is really where you can put some teams at a disadvantage.
That's right.
To think about
That's where the need for speed comes in, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that's why I have us, as our roster stands, I have us losing that game
To the Dolphins.
to the Dolphins because of the speed. Now I do have a solution to that, and I know it's early, but I want to put it on record that the solution is to have a veteran eraser at free safety that's available in free agency right now.
Yeah, that's my pick.
Simmons?
Because I don't want to see Petrie and I don't want to see Ward trying to do an air raid.
Would that be Simmons?
I was not for spending the money for Simmons before, but now the way things are shaking out with the schedules and the records and the hype,
Right.
we've gone all in the off season. We got money sitting on the cap. Let's go ahead and spend it. Get him on a 1-year deal.
Like I said 2-year deal, but like Jayson said about the whole rookies, the corner and the safety they drafted this year, their body types and how they played, you don't know what you really have in them. They know they're gonna be keys in the future. If you get it Justin Simmons, you can delay having to have Bullock play so early because you do have a true free safety.
Exactly.
I do like the fact that if and I would keep Peaches as underneath. Now I keep saying that. I just need him to play underneath because he cannot stop looking in the backfield trying to make a tackle, make a play when the ball goes above his head every damn game. So
yeah, but just because you have a body type and you have a body type doesn't mean every cornerback can play safety.
well, no, I'm saying it just gives you more time to figure out for a year or two.
Yeah,
Well,
I really think they dropped the ball on that one.
They play spot. They play in spots here and there to figure out what they want to do, not trying to put too much pressure on come out the gates.
With this schedule and the expectations of the team, I think we need to spend the money to fill that void at
corner and safety.
Veteran free safety is a bigger concern for me right now.
Would you say corner as well?
Yeah, I'd like to have another corner. But the
This
free safety is glaring right now. We
so
have
this
nobody that we can put center field. Jimmy is too old and slow. Petrie is unreliable.
Oh, when I said
Uh,
it, I got to fight
the
for it.
young
That's what
guy,
it is.
the
so
draft pick
so
is too young.
Too
Eric
young.
Murray and MJ and Lonnie Johnson are all washed.
And
Yeah.
special teamers.
So let me say this too. I know we want to spend the money because we have the $23 million in cap, but we need to realize too that some of that money has to be rolled over to next year because our cap the following year is slim, very very slim.
Yeah, but that's why you give them 1 year deals.
Yeah,
AD.
you don't have to. You don't have to roll money over.
You can use it this year and then it'll be
You
available
don't have
next year.
to.
When it's time to sign Nico Collins.
That's what I'm
Right. You
saying.
don't
Make
have to
sure the money
sign
will be
Nico
there.
Collins.
Oh, that's the thing. Y'all
Yeah,
don't
I think
want y'all anti Nico
The
Collins.
money,
So
but the
you
money
can
will
cut
be there.
Ward. You can cut Ward, and you can cut Jimmy Ward. And
Jimmy
Ward.
Ward is gonna be a free agent anyway. He's not gonna be on the roster after
Right.
I mean, this year you can cut Ward
well, you're
and
gonna get
Woods.
$5 million for Robert Woods
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah. Take that Robert Woods 5 million, put an extra five with it, give it guaranteed to Simmons.
And there you go. It's definitely doable without bleeding your salary cap.
Xavier Howard ain't gonna ask for much money to be playing football. He gonna want to play.
There we go. And we can
Mm.
cut CJ Henderson if we have to.
Yeah, but is he a D'Amico guy? That's the question. But we
Man,
venturing off into territory
Yeah.
because we've been on an hour and a half already. Let's go ahead and we end the season at Tennessee. I think somebody in the comments said NFL don't respect Tennessee. They don't even want to give them a date and time on week 18.
that's not what
Um,
that means. That's not what
I
it
know,
means.
I know. I'm
You
just
want to break it down what it means.
yeah, and what it means basically is that's a flex game, and it's not determined when they're gonna play that game. So it's either gonna be it could be a Saturday game, it could be a Friday game, it could be all kind of different games. The NFL leaves that week 18 game open for interpretation, especially if it's riding or a division clinching game or whatever. They can maneuver the schedule around
So if the Texans are say what 14, 13, and
to be
13,
deleted.
and they got the division locked up, they got the conference locked up, they got the whatever. It's gonna be a noon game, and get out of there.
Say it again, too.
I said if the Texans have the division locked up and the conference locked up, and Tennessee's not playing for nothing, it's gonna be a noon game, and we're gonna rest our starters. So
We can just play that on a Wednesday or something.
yeah, but nobody really cares
Right.
at that point.
All right, man. So let's go ahead and go through this real quick. We're gonna do group think. Real easy, man. Let's start with week 1. Everybody in the group thinks we're gonna win this game. Say aye.
All right. Aye, aye, Captain.
All right, Texans 1-0. We got the H-Town rundown has Texans 1-0 week 1. Week 2 against Chicago Bears. Prime time, Sunday night. All right, we got 2-0. You know what, Jayson, you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I want to get your thoughts on the primetime, the 3 primetime games at the end as well. I just want to run through this really quick. Week 3, Minnesota Vikings at Minnesota.
Aye.
All right.
All right, 3-0, Jacksonville Jaguars.
Nay.
Okay, Jules said we taking an L.
Aye.
All right, so we got week 4-0. Everybody but Jules said we winning. Week 5 against Buffalo at home.
W.
W. Aye.
All right, so we 5-0 right now. New England, I think that's a resounding. We winning that game.
Sorry.
W.
So that's 6-0 Green Bay.
The hesitation is
Yeah,
loud.
that's a good game. I think it's a toss up.
I'm gonna push it to the middle, man. Hell,
I think it's a toss up for me.
I think we can win it, but
I know I said we're gonna blow them out in the third quarter, but I got them on my official as a loss there.
All right, so we're gonna go ahead and say the Green Bay game is a loss. So right now we're going into week 8, 6-1 against the Indianapolis Colts in NRG. I call that a L.
That's a dub.
The
So we sweeping the Colts.
sweeping everybody in the division.
Okay. When the last time that happened?
Wow.
It's gonna be the first time this year.
I think
First time for everything,
2012.
AD.
First
Let's
time
go.
for everything.
Okay.
2012 was the last time.
Yeah, damn right.
All right, so here we go. Week 9 against the Jets
That's a
on
win.
Thursday night.
That's a win.
That's a loss.
Who?
The Jets. Cause
Oh,
Mike says a loss because he want to bench the whole starting crew.
Also, the Jets, man, they have fluky ass games, and they beat the shit out of us last year when we were hurt as hell. Like, just take the. I know nobody agrees, but take the loss.
No one
he's gonna-
agrees, Mike.
I don't want to ruin the season because we lose 3 key starters
Okay.
over some bullshit.
So what's collective? A W.
They're gonna call it deja vu. I think Aaron Rodgers gets hurt in the first week again.
It's a W.
I think he's
All right.
scrambling around again. He can't get away. He gets slammed on the shoulder. Bam, broken collarbone
So right now through 9 weeks, we're 8-1.
Correct.
against the 49ers.
And then we go week 10 against the Detroit Lions.
Oof, that's my game. That's my
That's a
game.
toss up.
That's a toss up.
Win.
I think we beat them.
We can.
All right,
So,
now
I got 2 losses already.
We
So
play them at home?
I'm gonna go
yeah,
with
we
W.
play them at home.
Yeah.
I got 2 losses so far, so I'm gonna go
I
with
think
win.
golf can be fooled sometimes.
He can.
If he's not in a rhythm, he can get fooled sometimes. What happens with him is if they coming from behind and he gets in a rhythm, he can put up 15, 21 points real quick. So
I'ma
we
say
got to get a good lead and keep it.
Okay, so with that being said, right now we are
I got
9-1.
I got
I'ma say a dub and OT.
I got 8-2 right now for us.
Okay, I got right now. Group things say 9-1. Then we go to the Dallas Cowboys on Monday Night Football.
10-1.
Yeah, another tough one.
Yeah.
Prime time.
Man, we sound. Hey, man, Chris, we sounding like Spody, man.
Yeah, I talked to Spody
Nobody
today,
sounds like
man.
Spody.
Spody was telling me about,
we can't lose no games.
Spody told me today about all the undrafted free agent signings they got that we better watch out for.
So it's a win for everybody.
It's a
Yeah.
win.
Yeah,
Okay.
with Zeke leading the run game, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, then Tennessee at NRG week 12.
That's a win.
That's a win. I think they'll play us tougher than we think, but yeah, that's a win.
All right, are we losing against Jacksonville week 13?
You said,
No,
are we?
man.
I'm not. I already got losing once. I'm not losing. We're not losing. We're not gonna get swept by them.
I think by week 13 they're gonna have Mac Jones in there playing.
So right now we are 12
I got
and
that
1.
one as a loss.
I got
A loss.
I got 11-2.
Yeah, I look.
They
We
lose
got
to the Giants.
look. We not sweeping the division. We got to lose.
Yeah, I
this
got
week.
us 4-2 in the
I'll
division.
see, bro.
Oh, hold up,
Division,
AD.
bro.
I agree. We're not going to sweep every team. In week 18, when we rest our starters, you can have that throwaway game.
That's right. You might be right about that. I might
I like
agree
that,
with you,
Mike.
Go ahead. Next game. It's a
I
bye,
have to
right?
agree with you
Yeah,
there,
the
Mike.
next week is a bye. So right now, I got us at 12 and 2.
I got us 12-2.
Okay.
That was a one loss. Either Green Bay or Detroit.
Right.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay. So backdoor week 15, Miami Dolphins. I know Larry got that as an L.
Track meet.
I got us L2.
We'll take the L.
That's one of my favorite games the entire season for any team. I will say I think the difference maker, since we didn't really highlight that, I think the difference maker is going to be our pass rush because we're not really going to have the horses. Nobody does to contain Waddle and Tyreek Hill, but I think the pass rush is
A-Chain.
Anyway.
But the pass rush is going to get home, and that's going to be the difference maker in that game. So we get the dub.
I say a loss because I want the next 2 games to be the wins. I'm not gonna lie. So I'd rather lose the Dolphins than lose the next 2 games. So I got us a loss.
All right. So right now we at 12 and 3.
That's a good record.
Going into the Kansas City game, probably gonna be the deciding factor who gets the number 1 overall seed, which is what I predicted in my original schedule prediction.
I got as a win.
I got us winning that game in Baltimore, taking us out the next week. I think we come off on a high of beating Kansas City in Kansas City on a short week on Christmas. It's a lot going on. I can see us taking an L against the Ravens the following week.
So what does the panel say for Kansas City?
I
I
got
got it
a
for
Got
L
L,
at Kansas City.
yeah. I
Chris.
think it's going to be brutal conditions in Kansas City.
So it's an
Um,
L,
yeah,
Chris.
I got Joe Mixon making a difference in that game. I got Joe Mixon making a difference. I've got Sloric making a difference in that game, and I got Nico Collins long ass making a difference.
So
Um,
we so there's two W's, two L's, and what you got, D?
yeah.
I had win against the Chiefs, loss against the Dolphins, win against the Chiefs, loss against the Ravens.
Okay, so that's a W for us. Majority rules for Kansas
Hmm.
City.
I
So
got
now
a
we're up to
L.
the Ravens.
I got a W.
For the Ravens,
Yeah,
No,
I got a loss for the Chiefs.
I got a loss for the Chiefs.
You got a loss for the Chiefs, so we losing against the Chiefs and we winning against the Ravens.
No. What did I say? No, I said we
yeah,
got a dub. I got a dub versus the Chiefs. I'm sorry. I got
right.
Okay.
a loss versus the Ravens.
All right. So yeah, that right there will put us at 13-4.
Mhm.
Got us winning.
Irregardless. Yeah.
Got us winning against the Ravens.
I got one against Ravens.
Revenging last year, and we
Mhm.
scored 35 with 7 touchdowns on their
So what you got,
But
Mike? You got a win or a loss for Ravens?
Yeah, I'm with Larry here. I think because we're in the opposite right here. I think we bounce back on
Mhm.
Christmas Day, present a win for the fans. CJ goes ape, and Nico and Diggs and Tank just obliterate the Ravens secondary.
So what we
all
got,
right.
Larry?
We at either way, we're at 13-4.
Right.
And so we go into the week, not 13-4, 12-4. I'm sorry. Either way, we're 12-4 at that point.
Okay.
And then we go into the week 18 game against Tennessee. Are we resting starters? Are we, you know, doing all this, whatever?
If the game's online for a position spot for number one or division, we win. If it's not, then hell, we might lose. It doesn't really matter to us.
Hmm.
But still, if it's position, you still got to try to win the game.
Yeah, if you're locked in a position, whether it be 2, 3, or 1, then you don't have. If you're locked into that position, then you rest your starters regardless.
Yep.
Right.
Even if it's a top 4 seed, you rest your starters. If you're locked in to that position, because at that point in time, we should probably potentially play in the top of the AFC in that little month span. So
Mhm.
all of it will probably be figured out by then.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I still want the W though. Ain't gonna lie, I still want the W.
Yeah, we still want the W, but I mean, go back to my prediction of 12-5, or 13-4. So,
There you go.
I got 13-4.
hmm
I got
so
14-3.
yeah, so
I got us
Jason
12-5.
14-3, 12-5, 12-5. Juice had 13-4. Mike, you had
13-4.
13-4. So, Jason, I do want to get your thoughts on the 3 back-to-back heavy hitter games: Miami, the Chiefs, and the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean, I think, we talked about having these opponents for the Texans lined up for you. Now, I would say the deck's kind of stacked against them playing these three, and y'all touched on it earlier, playing those three, the caliber teams that they have to face in 10 days. Now, glass half full, the Texans do get the benefit of having that bye week coming week 14. So if you've got guys that got injured earlier in the year coming back from IR, designated to return, you can get some of those guys back, plus the guys that also have been playing banged up throughout the season. They get that extra week late in the season to prepare before that run. So they have that benefit, but there's no way to sweeten it at all. Playing those three teams in 10 days is going to be difficult. At least with the Dolphins game, you do have the benefit of the bye to come out and kind of plan for that speed. I believe it was Larry was touching on. It's different matchups in all of these games. Mahomes, there's just no preparing for. And then to go into Arrowhead late in the season like that's going to be difficult for him. The Ravens game, y'all touched on it. Texans lost to them twice last year to begin the year and end the year. It's a revenge game, but not just the Ravens game. The Texans in 2024 will play all four teams that have ever beaten them in the playoffs. They're 5-7 in playoffs history, 5-2 in the wild card round, all of them home games. On the road, they've gone and played 5 games in the divisional round, and they're 0-5 and lost all of them. So trying to get that home field advantage would be key. But it's a tough slate of games. There are they're team stacked, but I have a lot of questions for them. Where we sit now, if I put a prediction on where they would finish the regular season, I would say 11-6.
Okay.
Sounds fair to me.
Mm-hmm.
Even before the schedule, I was thinking 11 or 12 wins.
I went with the higher number to 14. Last year, I think I had us at 10-7, and that's where we finished.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris was that liar. I think there
So,
were
so
just a couple more people.
to get 4 more wins, I don't think it's going to be that hard, considering. And I know every year is different, so don't let me think that I'm confused about that. Every year is definitely different. We play a different schedule, different teams. Our team is different. Other teams are different. But I think we put together enough elements on our team to gain us at least 4 more wins. We did that last year with a team that really should have not have won that many games. So 4 more wins for us. I think that's going to be great. It definitely, even if we go 11-7, even if we, 11-6, even if we go 13-4, we will be we will be playoff ready. We will be in a position to where no matter if we won or lost a couple of those close games, as long as we're in the playoffs, we are going to be playoff ready. But the reason I went with 14 wins is because I want us to get home field advantage all the way throughout the playoffs. I don't want us to, I don't want to have to go to the Ravens. I don't want to have to go to KC while it's snowing and freezing negative 12 degrees. I want them to have to come to Houston. Let us and let's miss that first week. They always tease us. Y'all get put out the first week of the playoffs. So y'all can only, well, guess what? We sitting down watching y'all play because
that Saturday a 3:00 game every time.
Every time the first game of the playoffs.
I can guarantee you this now. When we make the playoffs, we will not play on a Saturday.
Right.
First game.
Yep. No, because we're gonna have a bye week. Watch.
No,
we are gonna be the
I mean, even if it's the divisional round, because they play on Saturday in division too. Right. So it will be a Sunday game.
Yeah.
Well, I think the schedule lays out for a team to get on the roll and know that right after the bye, if we serious about winning the AFC, you got to win those last 4 games. I know we all chose different wins, but if you serious and you want that number 1 seed, it's set up for you to go take it right there.
Right.
Yeah. And that bye does come late in the season, but it comes at a pretty good time.
Excellent time.
It comes at a time where you've got the 3 powerhouses in front of you, Miami, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. So you get a week to prepare for the Dolphins, And then that next week when you go turn around and play, what is that, a Thursday? Saturday game. You're gonna have that time, but then when you play that 4 weeks, 4 days game, the Ravens are only gonna have 3 days to play. So hopefully we keep that as an advantage. And the Ravens have played the Chiefs too, so they're gonna be wore out just as bad as we are.
Yep. Well, what's interesting is if let's say, some of y'all have got them at 13, 14 wins. The debate will be so interesting to hear it play out going into that last game of the season if they are playing for that 1 seed in a first round bye. Because after that Ravens game, if they come out a win there, that's on Wednesday, Christmas. Yeah, it doesn't benefit them as far as having to play those 3 tough teams in 10 days. But after that fact, if you can surprise and come out with 2 wins out of those 3 games, Then you get that extra break before week 18. Now, if you're not playing in that week, that's a whole nother week. There's a possibility the Texans have a 2.5 week break. Now, in the dream world, they do get the 1 seed and don't even have to play in that 18 week. Now you're talking about 3.5 weeks of possibly getting your guys healthy and trained up. And at that point, it's just worrying about making sure they stay in the same feel of everything and don't get rusty. But I mean, the glass half full of side of that schedule after the Ravens game on the 25th, going home, celebrating with your family here in Houston, not having to be out on the road after the win as the players personally, and then having that time to rest up and get healthy and might not having to play in week 18.
Yes, excellent point.
That's a great point. Great point.
Yeah.
Great point. Jules, and that gives time for JJ Watt to come back. You know, he can come back right there at the end and get all the credit.
After the bye.
And all the coattails, riding coatails.
JJ come back after the bye, baby.
Yeah,
we carry JJ Watt on our shoulders right to the playoffs.
I see 10 people.
Perfect time.
Give me a safety or a corner to come back.
Hey,
give me a Patrick Peterson come back.
Look, we at the end of the episode, man.
We done?
They not like us. They not like us. The Houston Texans. It's coming out. You already know C.J. Stroud is gonna be playing this in the locker room. He's gonna be playing in the stadium. We know this song is gonna be blasting loud. So they not like us, man. The Houston Texans are gonna have a successful season, playoff bound, all that and above. I do want to shout out our special guest, Jayson Braddock, writer for the Sporting News, covering the Houston Texans. Again, follow him on Twitter. Jayson, where can we follow you on social media?
Yeah, just add Jayson Braddock on Twitter. You can check out the daily Texans content. Got a top 5 quarterback article with thought of a 2-year window. How would you draft the top quarterbacks in the NFL? I wrote that a couple days ago. Wait to get past the schedule. Probably going to drop that tomorrow. So y'all check that out at the Sporting News. If you can't find it, just type in Jayson Sporting News and just favorite the page there. It's got the archive page where you can find all the articles. Last point on the schedule, another positive glass half full for the Texans. 3 of the first 5 games on the road, and of that tough 3-game schedule at the end, 2 of those 3 at home in Houston. I mean, 3 of the first 5 at home, and then 2 of those 3 in prime. 2 of the 3 against those Dolphins, Chiefs, and Ravens here in Houston as well. Hey guys, I want to thank y'all for sharing the time. I enjoyed just listening to all y'all's viewpoint and everything. Appreciate you guys having me back on.
Yes, sir.
Thanks a lot,
Anytime. Always an open invite. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So once again, man, I want to shout out Larry, Doc Payton, coming in, giving us that wisdom, sounding like Jay Prince Jr. But now I want to shout out my co-host Jules, C. Roy, Mike G. Man, it's been a great episode, and we got plenty more hits coming. Y'all be on lock, man. Y'all go ahead and y'all see it at the bottom, man. Hit that like, share, and subscribe button, and put the notification bell on so you don't miss an episode. We coming with the heat for the next year. So y'all go ahead and bump those subscribers up, get us to 500, and support the H-Town Rundown, man, as we always support y'all. So once again, it's been another great episode. Let me stop this for they
Copyright.
copyrighted. Even though Kendrick gave it out for free. But yeah, man, we'll see y'all on the next episode, man. Peace.
Can't wait.